Episode 33, submitted by Nell, Wichita, Kansas. 44. Read exactly as submitted. Miss Fern watched me from the time I was 4 until I was almost 9. She had the other half of our duplex on the north side of Wichita, and my mother worked evenings at the hospital laundry, so I ate supper at her table 4 or 5 nights a week. I remember it as the calmest part of my childhood. Her kitchen was warm and nobody hurried me. She kept a prayer card in the pocket of her housecoat. If you didn't grow up around funerals, you might not know the kind. A stiff little thing the size of 2 stamps side by side. A saint on the front, in that washed-out blue, laminated so it wouldn't soften in a pocket. One corner was torn off clean, like somebody had taken it between 2 fingers and pulled. I thought that was just how they came. At bedtime, she'd lay it flat on her knee, and we'd say the words together. And because I couldn't read yet, I learned the whole thing out of her mouth. By the time I could read, I knew it by heart, and never once looked down at the card. It went, "Lord, mind the house while it's dark, mind the doors, mind the windows, mind the ones asleep inside them. And if you can only mind one of us tonight, mind the little one." That's the whole prayer. 9 seconds. I said it out loud at my grandmother's house one Christmas because I was 5 and assumed everybody said it. My grandmother looked at my mother, and my mother said, "All right, that's enough. Bedtime." I did not think about that look again for 39 years. The summer before 4th grade, Miss Fern stopped. Nobody told me it was coming, and nobody explained it after. The last afternoon in her kitchen, she took the card out of her housecoat, folded my fingers around it, and said, "You keep saying it." So I kept saying it. I have said it every night since. I said it in a plastic chair next to my father while he was dying, and again in the parking garage after. I said it over my daughter's crib the week we brought her home, because it was the only one I had. The card rides in the zipper pocket of my wallet. The blue is nearly worn off it now. Last spring my mother sold the house, and I drove down to help her sort 40 years out of it. We were doing kitchen drawers, and my wallet was open on the counter, and she stopped with her hand in the silverware and said, "Where did you get Tommy's card?" I said, "Who's Tommy?" She said, "Fern's boy. He was 6. That's from his funeral." She tore his name off of it. I asked how she knew that. She said everybody knew that. Her sisters knew. The women at the church knew. The man who owned the duplex knew. My father knew. She said she heard the 2 of us through the wall that first winter and knew right off those weren't words from anywhere in our family. I asked why she let it go on. I asked twice, because the first time she just kept sorting spoons. She said, "You were good with her." Then she said, "Honey, don't make a thing out of it." She never once called you by your name in 5 years. She called you baby. We noticed. You were fine. I have been doing the arithmetic ever since. 4 to almost 9. 5 years on a woman's knee at bedtime while she asked God to mind the little one. And every adult I had knowing whose card it was and letting me have it. Because I was easy about it. Because it kept her level. Because it was better than whatever else there was, and nobody ever needed to say which. My daughter is 6. She says it with me the way I learned it, and lately she says it by herself at the sink while she brushes, "Mind the doors, mind the windows," in that flat sing-song kids get. I taught her that. I put it in her mouth. And 4 nights running, I have tried to lie down without saying it first, and I can't. I get 10 minutes in, and I say it into the pillow so my husband won't hear me.